Good morning, everyone. Um, it's lovely to be back. This time last week, um, I was in Mauritius, which was actually such a lovely trip. It's always hard to extricate yourself from daily life when there's so much to do and so much going on. And I wasn't sure that it was something that I really wanted to do. But once we were there, it was such a lovely time of community and sharing of laughter. It was a doTERRA incentive trip. There were wellness advocates and leaders from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa. And it was a lovely, refreshing time of being together. We were completely spoilt. And as I said this time last week, we were heading out on a catamaran cruise around these um, islands. And I actually came back and I said to Pips, did you go to that island with the lighthouse on it, the sort of derelict lighthouse? And Pips had done a paddling trip, which I think many of you will remember, around Mauritius. And she told me that that's where they got stranded for 2 nights because their weather was so bad. And in fact, the day when we did the traveling, there were the catamaran trip, the rain came down in squalls. I mean, it cleared at certain times. We had lovely sunshine, but then other times there were squalls. And she ended up spending 2 nights on this island within their tents. And I must say, I came back with renewed respect for what they'd navigated and what they'd been through, because to spend 2 nights on that little island must have been very tricky. But yeah, so it was a really a lovely, soulful time. But it's been a disrupted time for our mindful moments. So hoping I can settle and get a little bit more into a rhythm and routine. So I've been using my frankincense to help to ground me. I love to use it on my palate, uh, like like that, or under my tongue. Um, and then my adaptive capsules have become a staple in the morning, just to really help me get a little bit more focused and take the edge off the day. I see you are in. I know Nat, you talked about that yesterday, and I'm really enjoying mine too. So I am a little bit sick. Pippa and Colin both were quite fluey before I left, and I've actually managed to stay on top of it. Again, using a lot of our oils and things, but I am a little bit blocked. And in fact, last night I thought, oh, I'm much better. I probably um, won't use my diffuser. I've been actually putting Breathe and Zengest, because Zengest is very good for breaking down mucus. I've been putting that in the diffuser next to my bed and taping my mouth. So if any of you have been around for a while, I've talked about mouth taping a lot um, in the last few years. And it's astounding because the last few nights I've been really diligent with taping it. And when you wake up in the morning, I have a much clearer nose and sinuses. Whereas last night I was a bit tired and I just didn't really feel like doing it all. And I was feeling better and woke up sort of about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning with a dry throat and very blocked nose. So clearly it was too soon to stop any of those practices. And I just really want to encourage you to, if you are struggling with this, there's a lot of flu around at the moment, to turn to your oils if you have them, but to do these practices like the mouth taping is very simple with a 3M, um, just like micropore tape. And it really does make a huge difference to how one feels in the morning. So I'm sure many of you have been very aware of the full moon. It's a full moon in Scorpio. I must say the last 2, 3 nights here, it's been absolutely spectacular. Pips is here before she heads off on her next adventure, and we went for a walk last night, and there was this huge orange moon that just rose over the Mount Verde, which is a farming area opposite us. And so, but full moons are intense, and this is a full moon in Scorpio. And I thought I'd just read to you a little bit from a lady, Jennifer Rakiopi. I think that's how you say it. And she says the full moon in Scorpio at 22 degrees perfected. This was yesterday at 12:55 p.m. Eastern, and it's here to stir, strip, and reveal. Scorpio energy isn't light or polite. It's honest, emotional, and transformative. You may feel like something in you is being excavated. That's not a problem. That's the point. This full moon invites soul level honesty and emotional release so you can connect with the truth of who you're becoming, not who you've been. You don't have to figure it all out. You just need to stay present with what's real and trust that more will be revealed. And so, yeah, I think the energy is very high. I'm sure many of us have woken at different times in the night because it's just so bright and so intense. And I think we also might feel things keenly. There've been emotional events. I know Mother's Day is not always an easy day for everyone. We have expectations, or we have our children with us or not with us. We mourn the loss of our own mothers or of children, and it's a very emotional time. And so we had to have the full moon at this time as well can bring up so much more. So yeah, so the call is just to hold ourselves with tenderness. We don't need to figure it all out. We just need to stay present with what is real and trust that more will be revealed. So I thought I'd share a beautiful Mary Oliver poem with you. It's one we haven't done before. And so I just invite you to take a deep breath in. And if your eyes are open, just to allow them to drop, your eyelids to drop your gaze. Close your eyes if you can. If you're walking or driving, just to soften your gaze. And just to perhaps let go of any tension that you may be holding in your neck and shoulders, perhaps in your jaw, assuming a posture that's upright. Rest hands in an open palm position on your lap. And just be open to letting these words land, not just on our ears, but on our whole bodies. Mysteries, yes, by Mary Oliver. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. And how two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. And so the call is for us to look at the world through the eyes of children. Pippa's just come back from her eco training course and she's learned all sorts of calls and grasses and nature. She showed me the other day what her favorite grass is, the Natal red grass. And we were also at a dam she said, "Oh, that's I forget which frog it was." She said, in the past, I would never have really even noticed that. And now I'm seeing and hearing all these different parts of nature, and they're all here for us to notice with the curiosity of a child. Just to say, look, and laugh in astonishment. And so, as we settle into this meditation, I invite you to approach it with what we call beginner's mind, as if we've never done this before, with a curious awareness. We're taking a deep breath in, and then as we breathe out, allowing for a settling and a softening in our bodies. Breathing in and settling and softening on the out breath. Noticing sounds that arise and just letting go of any attachment or judgment. And just following the breath back into our body. Noticing where the breath goes, where it settles. Noticing if it settles in your chest, in your abdomen, in your heart space. And slowly and consciously just prolonging the exhale. Following it with every out breath, noticing whether we can even follow it down into our pelvis, into our thighs, our calves, even into our feet. With each out breath, inviting a settling into our body, into our seat, onto the earth beneath us. Noticing your connection with the earth, the grounding, that your feet, that the floor, the earth, the cushion beneath you, the grounding that they offer you. And sensing into this rootedness and the support. If your thoughts start to wander or your mind starts to drift off, just noticing that and bringing it back to this breath. Perhaps noticing the air as it passes through your nostrils, as it moves through the back of your throat, or noticing the rise and fall of your chest. And then following your breath into your heart space, and just allowing your awareness to settle here. Inviting a feeling of gratitude into a heart space. Gratitude for this morning. Gratitude for this breath. Gratitude for the ability and the opportunity to start each day afresh. Noticing if this gratitude has a sensation, a color, a texture, a weight. And just tuning into what lies here. And then perhaps inviting a loved one who you wish to support, a friend, a family member, someone who you want to connect with. Just inviting an image, a sensation of them into your heart space. Offering them this gratitude, connection, love. Keeping coming back to the heart space. And then allowing the sensation to expand beyond your heart space into your lungs, shoulders, neck, head, drifting down your arms to hands, to your abdomen and belly, moving down into pelvis and thighs, knees, calves, feet, so that we allowing this love to expand to fill our entire bodies. That we may move out into the world, bathed in love for ourselves and others. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. And just taking a few deep breaths as we come back to the space that we find ourselves in. Moving fingers and toes, rolling shoulders, moving your neck, gently easing out any tension that may be sitting there. When you're ready, opening your eyes. Coming back to the light, the room, and the space around you. Wish you a blessed day. Namaste. Thank you all.
Nick, I'm not sure why my camera's not on. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. I love what Ellen has put here. The greater part of the phenomena of nature are concealed from us all our lives. There's just as much beauty visible to us in the landscape as we are prepared to appreciate. Not a grain more. A man only sees that which concerns him. Sure, I love that, Ellen. Very true. And so our encouragement is to really to have a beginner's mind and to notice things around us, the colors, the light, moon, the sensation. As we were walking yesterday, this moon was just so gorgeous, and yet we passed people who were running or with AirPods on, or going in a different direction, and they didn't even see it. They hadn't even been aware of it. And so there's so much in our lives that we don't see and we're not aware of. And our encouragement is to open up and to say, look, and laugh in astonishment. Ellen, it looks like you want to say
words
something.
about Pippa. Yeah, your words about Pippa just resonated with me, and that quote popped into my mind again. It's one of my favorite. It's been in my life for a long time.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I hadn't heard it.
So, yeah. So, I mean, if you think about how you sit and if you were interested in birds, you hear every bird call, you see every bird flying past, so just as an identification. Even sort of living at St. Francis, walking on the wild side, the number of people that would walk there and say, gosh, this is barren and there's nothing here. But you walk there with a botanical ramble and you look at every little sprout and flower and seed and petiole of every leaf, and you're astounded by how much nature there is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the fynbos.
Yeah.
A good quote.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
But nice to be back. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah. Thanks, Ellen. Thanks, everyone. Sending love. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.